Right.
I don't know that anything will ever do that well. But I don't want to tell people what I drive.
Fair enough.
It's nice though.
Yeah.
There's any viral video that goes to people that the whole country. Yeah. Like the population of the United States.
Yeah. When we were up there.
And of course we got.
So we got the truck running under its own power last July, but leaving Oregon, there was still a lot of work to be done to get it to do something other than just drive 80 miles an hour down the freeway. Needed to have a new custom front drive shaft made. The truck sat way too tall. The vacuum for the front axle disconnect was no good. And arguably, the worst offense of all was that we had no ability to self-recover. So I got a long spline custom front drive shaft made. I bought a pausing lock cable actuator system. Then I bought some Thurin Fab coilover towers that would raise up into the engine bay, not only bringing the suspension lift down, but increasing the stroke length of the coilover that's workable. And last but not least, I found a guy out of California named Benny who makes a very cool second gen winch bumper setup that is like half the cost of everything else out there. Got that squared away. In addition to that, I added some auxiliary lighting, both spot and flood, into that new bumper. Put the ARB twin compressor in the truck so we can air back up again, and our set down the road for doing a ARB front locker for what it's worth. Added a couple little quick fist mounts around for shovel, max track, stuff like that. And then just did some general maintenance. O2 sensors, new exhaust crossover, idle air control valve, manifold air pressure sensor, just usual maintenance stuff. Help turn the check engine light back off, make sure that we got some power back because of the vacuum leak. There was a pretty serious lack of acceleration power. And I do have to shout out Scott and George and the rest of the gang over there at American Spring, right in Flagstaff. They were invaluable on the fab work. They got me squared away with the exhaust. They burned in the new Thurin towers because we needed to cut out some of the inner fender and then throw a MIG around on there. So those guys were awesome, helped get that squared away, even helped trim out and make some adjustments on the radius arm mounts on the frame side to help get that pinion angle back squared away. So shout out to them because I cannot take all the credit by any stretch of the imagination. Those guys kick ass. If you are in Northern Arizona, definitely check them out. Yeah, this is just a short little vid, show you guys some highlights, putting this stuff together. Alright, thanks for watching. Keep your eyes peeled for more, because now that we can actually self-recover and have a workable front axle again, we can start wheeling, start getting into some dumb shit. So yeah, stick around. We'll see you soon. I don't care if the kit says it is a 100% bolt-on, you will always run into some fucking stupid setback. Now, this kit, when I emailed the designer, fabricator who made it, he said I'm the only guy he's seen whose second gen has the center support fully capped and welded right through here. So, the actual center support is supposed to slide in there, and obviously it can't. It's supposed to slide up to this point here. So, we are going to have to break out the Dremel. Alright. Given that setback and the fact that I need to go and get more cutoff wheels for the Dremel because angle grinder is going to be too big to fit in there, I'm going to need little cutoff wheels. It's probably going to take multiple of them and be very annoying. So instead of doing that today, what we're going to do is actually rewire the winch for a traditional battery setup. I had this quick disconnect set up on the Excursion because I was running front and rears. And rather than pay like $2,600 for a bumper on the Excursion, because no one made a good one for an even remotely affordable price, I just put a front tow hitch on there and then ran these QDs so I could run the winch front and rear. We're going to convert back. And then I think what I'll also do is probably go ahead and rig up the auxiliary lights to the outside wings of the bumper. And then I will actually run the wiring to the battery, get the loom set up, and then that way, when we finish install, all we have to do is 1, 2, 3, 4, plug the lights in, and we'll be good to go. That'll be all out of the way. Also got to remove these 4 bolts to get to the solenoid and control unit cover, get that off so that we can undo this positive lead.
said to him, and he, smart, he looked it up.
I'm playing the coffee shop?
Yeah.
It's a few more months.
June. I start shooting in a couple of weeks.
Great.
I already shot the stand-up for.
You know, just completely like not part of the 21st for like 12.5 years, and you know.
Guys, this was when we were deciding if we were going to re-up with them or.
Well, as always, nothing is never as easy as you planned. The control pack was sitting in the way of the grill closing. There was a $120 option to get a worn relocation kit and fuck around, or, you know, wire one up myself, do a whole bunch of exquisite and exotic stuff. And I decided I'd just keep it simple, at least for now. It's not very elegant. It's pretty basic, but I just moved it forward. I guess the risk is that there are now 2 less fasteners holding it in. However, it's not at all loose. I guess worst case scenario, if somehow, you know, those 2 are just not enough to hold it on, worst case is it dangles down in front and it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't get sucked up into a drive belt or fall down in front of the truck and get run over or anything. So we're gonna run this for now. You can't really tell from the front, so it doesn't look too stupid as it's coming head on. And yeah, I don't know. Even from the side, yeah, it looks a little goofy, but what are you gonna do? It's either that or no winch for the time being. So here we go. Just the other imperfection, the light cutouts are big enough for these pods, but then actually getting the fastener squared away and getting the actual hardware that came with it to work is really a non-starter. I went and got some smaller hardware that would fit into the tracks on the bumper itself. And that was all well and good until I realized that these pods are wide enough that even coming up into the corner and trying to turn them out, the bodies are going to hit these tabs. That wasn't really working. So that's also kind of a temporary fix. I'm going to need to think about what I want to do with that so that at least these outside floods can sit flush and kick off at this like 45-degree angle. Because that would be really nice to be able to have some off-angle flood. The spots are really just there to complement the headlights, which are also LED, so it's probably overkill. Those should really be facing forward, so it's going to look a little goofy one way or another unless I just delete the spots and get another flood that sits flush and kicks out. And at that point, again, that seems kind of redundant. Seems like overkill. So I don't know what the long-term solution is, other than when I have more patience, I'll come back and play with the hardware and jimmy them around and see what I can come up with. But this is what we got for now. Bumper's on, winch is working, air compressor's in, air is working. Now I gotta be completely honest, it's a tight fit with the grill and the winch and the bumper setup. It's snug, real snug. I might have accidentally gotten a little overzealous closing the hood and not snugging it down and being gentle and finessing it a little bit the way that apparently it needs to be now, and cracked the grill. But no bullshit. I had already wanted to put a black grill on the truck anyway. I got black wheels and with the sliders and the bumper, and I'm probably going to go ahead and do like a rhino lining or something right above the sliders on the rocker panels. So black was already in the works. We're going to call that an upgrade opportunity. So now we got the black grill on. The only thing that's missing is a nice little custom-made Ram emblem, Ram Charger style from the early 90s, late 80s. That's coming. You'll see that soon enough. So the world doesn't see the truck in all its glory just quite yet, but I think they get the idea. I'm feeling good, functionality-wise. Everything is there. Cosmetically, it looks good, and I know that people like to say, you know, form over function, and I don't care how it looks. I just want it to do the thing. But let's be honest. A clean, good-looking truck that can also do cool shit is way better than some clapped-out XJ or second-gen 4Runner that can do all of the things but looks like a pile of trash. So I feel good about where we're at right now. You know, we'll call it V3, right? We're on like version 2.2, something like that, right? We're still in beta. You know, the operation works, but we're still not to the finish line, and there's a lot to be done to get there. As I mentioned earlier, we're ready to put the ARB air locker in the front end, and I still really like that idea for the really long term. You know, 5-10 years down the road, that would be really cool. However, Spartan lockers are helical. I mean, they're splitting the ground between True Tracks and Detroit's. And man, I'm talking $300 and some odd dollars. Now, with the pausing lock right now, I don't have to worry about throwing one in there because it's essentially a de facto hub system. Yeah, we're still turning the unit bearings, but we're not beating it up the way that we would if we had one-piece axles and threw it in there. So I'm very, very tempted for the next year, maybe 2 years, to throw a Spartan locker in there because that's something that you could really do in the driveway pretty easily. And I think that next, after that, if we do that, that might come, that might not. Whether it comes or not, if it comes, this will follow it. And if it doesn't, this will follow it anyway. The chromoly one pieces are going to have to follow. And at the same time, I'm going to do Spin Tech hubs and get those with mile markers or Warns. If you know me, you know I'm going Warn. So beefing up the front axle, and then at the same time, you know, rear axles are cheap. So chromoly's front and rear and hubs for the front at the same time is really next on the agenda, if we want to call it that. So again, all good things in due time. Tonight, we're camping Kaibab National Forest. Got the dog with me. Tomorrow, we're hitting a USPSA classifier. It's been a long time since I classified, and my goal is to get into master class within a year. If I can hit A class tomorrow, I'll be really happy, and if I can't, then so be it. I know I got stuff to work on. So we're going to hang out, drink a few cervezas. Not too many. We want to have our head in the game for tomorrow. We want to be hydrated. We want to be ready to rock and roll. But I think this is going to do it. The truck looks good. It does cool stuff. We're going to enjoy it for now. It's the end of May. We're going to romp around for the rest of the summer. And we'll follow back up here soon enough. Keep your eyes peeled. See you on the other side.